Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS? We Success IAS Academy. We Unacademy with top educators and meticulously designed quality content waiting here to shape you so that you realize your dream. And once you enroll here, you undergo a great learning experience. You know very well, Unacademy, India's largest and the best online education platform. Once you get Plus subscription, you will get unlimited access to live and recorded courses, especially from India's best educators. What are all the benefits you are likely to get? Once you enroll yourself in Unacademy, you get daily live classes like this, and you can chat with your educator, and you can engage in all-round discussions, and you can ask all your genuine doubts, and you can participate in the answer polls. All these things you can do while the session is going on. And you got structured courses. They are in complete alignment with the syllabus and pattern of the examination so that you never get deviated from the expected framework. And beyond that, we normally emphasize this statement in all fora. It is not knowing the stuff, knowing to deliver the stuff. How do you deliver matters? For that, we've got, evaluation methodology, and we evaluate your preparation at various levels by regular mock tests and quiz programs. We give you detailed analysis, the report especially, and based on that, you will get the feedback. That feedback talks about where you are strong, where you are weak. Not only that, and this particular feedback through which we come to know how much time you took in solving a question. And as I said earlier, you've got unlimited access once you enroll, and you can watch all those live or recorded videos from anywhere, anytime, according to your own the convenient devices, whether it is mobile phone or laptop, even your desktop, ladies and gentlemen. Right, it is that way. And for that, what you have to do, please download Unacademy Learning app immediately, whether it is Android, iOS, and you will get all the benefits once you download. You please download, you will see. And who is this Success Sampath interacting with you? Yes, I'm from Chennai, and I've got the unique experience of exposed to the fields of especially engineering, management, and legal education, with 25 years of experience in the field of coaching, especially for civil service examinations, where I could witness 250 plus results as IAS, IPS, IRS, IFS officials working in India and abroad as well. What is the vision of mine, if you ask me? To provide career solution, especially by enabling youths of India to begin and to embrace the globe later. Fortunately, this particular vision of mine is coinciding, aligning with Unacademy's vision. We are working together and to shape you, to sculpt you so that you realize your dream, the goal. Yes, it's not only me. We got a team, the team of that top educators waiting here at Unacademy to shape you. And in UPSC Civil Service Examination, you got more than 15,000 courses. The modules, the subject specific modules, duration specific modules, according to your convenience and budget you can choose. And the very UPSC Civil Service Examination has got major programs. One Plus program, another one is Iconic. What is this Plus program? The Plus program talks about the live classes, deals with live classes, test series, and unlimited practices, and you got structured schedule. And you can choose 12 months program or 24 months program. You can use my referral code, say SUCCESS, to avail 10% discount. And if you enroll, that probably technically speaking, you end up paying mere 2,667 rupees per month, technically speaking. So it is that way, and you can go for iconic program. We highly recommend this particular program because it's more than plus program. It has got the very unique advantage. You will be allotted a special coach for you, personalized coach, and who will understand your nature and suggest study planner and personalized feedback, and you got everyday daily mains question and answers writing practice, and you got someone there to take care of you, so you can be very comfortable in that sense. So I recommend strongly the iconic program. Here too you have 12 months program, 24 months program. You use the referral code, say success. I'm Success Sampath talking to you, interacting with you, so go for success. You are also waiting for success. Use 10% discount available there, and you end up paying mere 89,100 once you enroll 2 years program. For 1 year program, you end up paying mere 57,600, because great things will take time. It is the empire building process. Once you become officer, as a leader in different capacities, you are going to rule this nation for 25 to 30 years of wonderful career. That demands your passions, that demands your leadership qualities, that demands your passions with purpose for the next 2 years. So better go for this iconic program, devote 2 years of preparation. It's highly possible you can even become all India topper with that. Yes, what's our purpose of interaction, ladies and gentlemen, today? Non-alignment and its relevance, especially. Anybody heard about this? And probably that recent newspapers, even our Prime Minister Modi ji had interaction in the month of May. They participated in that event given COVID situation, especially the virtual meeting. He participated, he spoke, and said given COVID situation we should have solidarity in the crisis. And after United Nations organization, it's a major organization with 25 member countries, well. And he said, that this particular norm should be a moral voice. That is what his emphasis. Well, non-alignment movement is all about, we're going to discuss a lot. I don't like to align with any one of the entities. You don't align with non-alignment. Don't align with any one of the entity. What are all those entities? 2 power blocks of Cold War era, especially USA and USSR. And the world got divided into 2 poles, 2 polars. Bipolar world, 2 giants. You don't want to be part of, you don't want to take sides rather. That doesn't mean neutrality. I'm going to clarify that concept. It's totally different, because non-alignment is positive concept. See, you're going to engage the world, you're going to develop friendship. It's not like neutrality, where you don't do anything. Inaction is the action there. That's a negative notion. So non-alignment is a positive concept, political concept rather. Whereas neutrality, legal concept, these are all the nuances we are talking about. India also became, one of the founder members. India's contribution that begins with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the light of Asia. But for this non-alignment movement, the bedrock of this entity was Panchsheel policy, the initiatives of 5 Bandung conference. These are all the smaller informations I'm just introducing you. So non-alignment is all about, it's a movement. The movement of member countries, 120, it is after UN, a biggest entity. Recently, you would have got exposed through our Prime Minister Modi ji. It's moral voice of the globe, and that demands, inclusiveness on the part of all members. Not only that, he also recommended the so-called democracy, discipline, decisiveness, so that it becomes a genuine movement. The world is a one family. This is all. We have to begin with our Prime Minister of India. It is that way. So we are going to discuss more whether it is relevant today, or having accomplished its, that ideals, it's irrelevant. It's no more. The purpose gone. Is it so? No, we have got different arguments for that particular purpose. Right, before going there, this is what our content of discussion today, the complete things we are talking about. So we are going to, give brief introduction about IRS. There will be newcomers also, new persons visiting every day these videos, and to some extent IR syllabus, please tolerate. And if you know already, no problem, it's a matter of revision. And as I said, the NAM introduction. The NAM came in news recently, not only because of our Prime Minister's participation through the virtual interaction, and in what way this UPSC Civil Service Examination related to this particular topic. What is the international context responsible for the very birth of this non-aligned movement, and the core imperatives, the essentials of norm. What is norm? When you talk about norm, what is the concept behind it? In what way India is related to this from the birth, from the inception, and till today, till Prime Minister Modi ji, from the days of Light of Asia, Pandit Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, the statesman. And what are all the aims and goals of the non-aligned movement and its contemporary relevance? When you say it has lost purpose, and still it is relevant according to the diplomatic community that we are going to share. And the essence remains relevant even today. That is what thing. It's not, even people who accuse, no, it's lost relevance, no more, purpose gone. Because, the 21st century, if you want to provide solution to the 21st century, you should not live with 19th century mentality. That demands your different avatar. People call that way also. So you have to unlearn some things that you learned in the past. Something which was beneficial in the past may not be beneficial for tomorrow. Don't live in the past. Come out of the shackles of the past. The negativity aspect I'm talking about. I'm not talking about forgetting. Don't forget your value system tradition. That's totally different scenario. Don't take it in the other way. So it is not simply accusing. And what is the way forward? That should be any fora, there should be a resolution. So we should be part of the solution. So we are suggesting what is the way forward to make this non-alignment movement, to be more relevant, to be alive. If at all you say it is more irrelevant or gone out of relevance, if at all you say, how to make it more relevant, and what are all the resources to be consulted if you want to know after our discussion for your reference purpose. So these are all the things we are talking about. It is welcome to Unacademy once again. This is Success Sampath interacting with you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome Ram Kumar, welcome Sarvesh, very good evening, yes, and welcome Mr. Siddharthan, yes. Right, it is that way, and you can download the very PDF from there. Otherwise, that you can reach me through Telegram and social network channel. Probably we may help you. Yes, let's go to the interaction. This is what the content. Yes, what is the introduction of this IR? What is IR? Many a times we keep on emphasizing. People who already watched my previous videos also, very well, like individuals interacting, here nations interacting, states. It's not, that I'm not talking about subsidiary unit like, Tamil Nadu government or Kerala government, subsidiary unit of the nation. No, it is state, a nation. Different nations coming together. They interact bilaterally, multilaterally, even international fora. So foreign leader visiting India, Indian leader visiting foreign nations, agreement signed, touching, various aspects of the international state system. It may be energy related. It may be, strategic affairs related. It may be technological. It may be even the strategy, the defense related equipments, export, import we are talking about, and the collaboration of technology. And beyond that, the very World Trade Organization, trade, commerce, export, import. And beyond that, the international institutions, when we participate, we reform, we enrich, we add value. And we are, always saying, that it is out of date entity. You please, that broaden its perspective sometimes, as we suggest for United Nations organization. You should go for reforms. It's no more representing the globe. You are simply representing the views of, developed world. You're dancing to the tunes of the developed world, like puppeteering. If you want to truly that respect the sentiments of, that the entire globe, and it should be restructured accordingly. These are all the things we are talking about. And how a decision taken by developing country, or developed country, in what way it's going to impact, our own people, Indians here, or India here, or Indian diaspora, as we spoke about how the Trump's, that immigration policy, the H-1B visa measures impacting Indians, and how the Kalapani region of Nepal, the claim is going to affect, that its relationship with India when it is getting backing from China, and the skirmish activities, aggressiveness from China, maybe to divert attention from their own domestic issues, or it's a headache, unreliable partner in the neighborhood, and the religious fundamentalism, the cross-border terrorism from neighborhood. And it is that way how our policies, programs getting affected the Indian. It is that way we are talking about. I think this introduction is right, I believe, that. And you please watch my other videos also, you will get more, the introduction, everything. I think it's right time we move to next level. This international relations in what way related to UPSC. Yes, this is what your UPSC syllabus at the prelims level is this, mains level. Yes, what I spoke, you got formalization. There is only one liner in prelims, national, international importance, especially current affairs. The international, you get 10 to 12 questions. Right, we spoke in 50 marks worthy of this portion. In your paper 2 general studies, we are talking about 4 questions, 10 marks questions 2. And that very 15 marks questions 2, you will come to know. So these are all the question discussions, we will take you to the next level. Yes, it is that this is what the syllabus. I think we are quite related to this. What is this NAM? Where we can locate the title NAM here? It is international institution, 120 plus countries in the world, right? So it's fora, it is a structure, mandate, everything, and the measures, India's participation, everything we are talking about, right? Non-alignment movement is all about the foreign policy of nations or states. How we are going to engage neighborhood or extended neighborhood, landlocked or maritime. Or how you are going to engage superpowers, how you are going to engage your regional partners. The way with which, the modality, the process you employ in engaging, in interacting with other nations, that's what foreign policy. And you got, established principles, part of diplomacy. Non-aligned movement reflecting that. It is part of that foreign policy of every nation, including India. The very policy we spoke in the beginning, do not align with US or USSR. Especially during the Cold War. That is the stand. The world got divided into 2 entities. It's between Uncle Sam, United States of America, the NATO pact, the other side, the leadership by USSR then, United States of Soviet, Russia, it's the Warsaw Pact. It's NATO versus Warsaw. The world got divided into 2. There were proxy wars, arms race, aggressive assertion. So many elements when we talk about Cold War. They directly never enter into war, but there will be Cold War. Ultimately, that there won't dependent nations will be suffering. And that they'll be selling weapons meanwhile. That's what happened. When the world got divided into 2, what will happen? Ultimately, that is the scenario. So, but that India like countries, there came few countries, we do not want to take sides. We want to have our own independent foreign policy. It should not be at the disposal of anybody. You should not ask, boss, shall I do it? No, you are a sovereign nation. And because that why all these nations had the very bad taste of colonialism. That is the point. That bad taste, the devastation, economic exploitation. And they were heading towards their own destiny, independent destiny, irrespective of the global stand. So it is that way. So we don't want to be part of any one of these entities. We should have our own say. It doesn't mean that that neutral position, as I said in the beginning. I will engage. I'll promote friendship among the global countries. But at the same time, I will take care of my own nationalism, national interests, my own people, domestic interests. This is all about that. So the independent foreign policy. For that that time, there was a need of common platform. There came the very non-aligned movement. We are talking about the first NAM summit happened in Yugoslavia, Belgrade. We are talking about it is that way. The rest of the things all basics. I think let me take you to the next level. Why I'm talking about this? Recently, even few days back, especially the lead article in Hindu, where it's talking about Mr. Raghavan, one gentleman wrote about this. The very article mentioning, quoting both gentlemen, Dr. Jaishankar, the Honorable Union Minister of External Affairs, as well as former Honorable National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon. So first, Dr. Jaishankar, he spoke. The rejection of non-alignment doesn't mean a rush to alignment. See, we don't want to be part of non-alignment. Doesn't mean that we are taking alliance. No, India was quite reluctant to be part of any alliance. India will not join an alliance system. This is the statement of Dr. Jaishankar. On the other hand, it's a clear-cut scenario. That former National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon, that heavyweight district Palakkad from Kerala, which has generated a lot of statesmen. Shiv Shankar Menon, he said that way, the today's world order is militarily unipolar. Maybe it's led by United States of America, cool, because of the robust technology, advanced technology, R&D. Even the Gulf War, Dr. Kalam used to put this way, the Gulf War is a drama, the drama staged between advanced weapons of the Western powers and vintage weapons of the Gulf countries. Otherwise, the Western countries tested all their advanced equipments in the so-called Gulf War. How do you view? See, the view, Dr. Kalam, in his book, he has written that way. Yes, so it is that way, United States of America, because of its R&D, the equipments, military equipments, unipolar world, cool. But economically multipolar, because we are talking about the rise of China, the emerging market economies in the world, especially BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Recently, we opened, that very new development bank also. And what about the Asian tigers? Tiger Cups. It is that way. India, the emerging Asia's economic potential. So all these things, it is a multipolar world in economic sense. Because US is going down, China is rising. The 21st century meant for Asia, we keep on mentioning this. Right, it is that way, but politically confused because the shifting sands, even the very international relations, is said to be highly volatile. It's not fixed because you just imagine what happened, right? Our engagement more with USA, or US engaging India more than Pakistan, well. But now Pakistan has become one of the provinces of the very China. It's almost like buffer state between India and China. Let me put this way. And because of that, I can't say Pakistan is a neutral country. China is using Pakistan as a buffer state so as to counter India. Let me put that way, the economic corridor, China-Pakistan economic corridor, it has become debt-trapped nation. Yes, earlier, the United States of America engaging, the very Pakistan, when we were engaging, we had strategic relationship with Russia, 1971 treaty, especially during Cold War, So all these things, the equations keep on changing, keep on altering. The coalition, the alliances, the combination keep on changing. Maybe the Karl Marx view, change is permanent. Here too, மாறாதது மாற்றம் ஒன்றுதான் in Tamil. The change is permanent in foreign policy also. In international relations also, nothing is permanent. That is what, don't label me as Marxist. Let's take that view for this purpose, that's all. So it is that way. So this relevance we are talking about, which came in news, so what is the point? It is not, NAM lost its relevance. How to make it relevant, even to make it more relevant, even our Prime Minister in the virtual interaction suggested. At the same time, because of the thing, we are rejecting non-alignment, don't come to the conclusion, don't rush to the conclusion that we are aligning with someone. Our engagement with the United States of America is based on issue. It is issue-based engagement. Because when we want United States of America to balance, the China's rise, especially the Belt Road Initiative, well, it is that way. At the same time, that we should not leave Russia also. We have to take into account Russia also when we talk about Chinese, the context. So these are all the things. It is no more. It is not, the issue-specific, case-specific engagement we are talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you understood. So NAM is relevant or irrelevant, how to make it more relevant, and what is the spirit. So that's the bone of contention. It is a lively topic even today we are talking about. In what way it is related to UPSC Civil Services Examination? Yes, you have seen the syllabus, prelim syllabus, main syllabus. And the very mock test, that even the UPSC Civil Service Examination, the questions like this, discuss the importance of non-aligned movement in India's foreign policy. In contemporary times, the paradigm shift, as Dr. Jaishankar our Honorable Minister put it, it's not rejecting non-alignment, it's not rushing to alignment too, it is issue specific, case specific engagement with different nations in the world. Yes, it is that way we are talking, because let me put this way, when United States of America gave economic sanctions to Iran, but we were given a specific waiver by USA. We were not punished by CAATSA, countering American enemies through sanctioning act. That wasn't used against India. We were allowed to get oil from, in spite of the thing, the very sanctioning on Iran. Even when we were getting S-400 tanks from Russia, no. It is that way. Do you understand? It is that the case specific, the engagement we are talking about. It is that way. So analyze the significance of maybe relevance, significance, importance in the globalized world. Another, there may be this year also you may get in the mains. And the very topic in the year 2017 for 125 marks, you got 250 marks for essay. If you would have written this topic, you would have got 125 marks. The non-alignment movement. Has the non-alignment movement lost its relevance in a multipolar world? The essay, your knowledge in because there is always going to be one topic from international relations domain. You got 8 domains in essay. One domain is always meant for this IR. If you're good at IR, parallel you can meet essay also. It's a proof. Got the idea? So I think you should be more attentive. That you understood the importance, relevance of this particular topic to the UPSC preparation in shaping you as officer or leader. Yes, let's move to the next title. What is that? International. What is that context? What was the situation that resulted in the very birth of NAM, if you ask me? As I said earlier, the colonization, the colonial impact, the first wave of colonization, the bitter taste, that lasted till 1815, and there came neo-imperialism also. That's why that our Light of Asia, Jawaharlal Nehru, and in alignment with Kamal Nasser of Egypt and Tito of Italy, and initiatives of 5, the Bandung Conference, Afro-Asian Conference, they came together and to balance this challenge threatened by this neo-imperialism. And even the first wave of colonization itself, India, like developing countries, underwent economic devastation. How they reduced India into a poor nation, and how the poverty, illiteracy, we got reduced. Otherwise, the Indian resources were utilized to enrich, to feed the industrialization happened in the Europe. All the stories. So this situation from which the Asia and Africa, it started reawakening, rising to the occasion in the modern times. So what happened, right? Their aggressiveness, because it's not a simple way with which you guard your independence as India. Mahatma Gandhi's leadership and the loss of life, the sacrifice, the very stubborn policy, the severe exploitation, how we underwent, you can't. But today, of course, this generation, that lucky enough, that you think about our forefathers. So that made us, very aggressive, so what happened during that struggle? Not only during that struggle, later also, but that's different scenario. So that aggressive nationalist struggle, what happened, right? To have their own independence, to have their own destiny, to be independent, to express their own views, not depending on somebody else, not get influenced by other nations or other superpowers. So these are all the lessons we learned, the reaction or response, more than reaction, response in the colonization era. So each and every nation got affected by that colonization. The developing countries, underdeveloped countries, what happened, right? To manifest the destiny in an independent manner, especially through its own foreign policy. It can't be dictated by any foreign nation. Come on, do this, do that. No. You have your own say, sovereignty, sovereign power. It is that way. So what happened, right? So it's this particular foreign policy of these nations based on its own historical legacies as we underwent the exploitation, the British exploitation, colonization, by East India Company's exploitation. Right, it is that way. Very recently, UK also asked sorry. But sorry, what is that sorry? It makes irrelevance today. Got the idea? So what is the point? So the national, we took into account our own national interests, the social situation, historical roots. Even the various social scientists speak in that way. All concepts or their theories, what you speak today, it has got its own historical root. The situation you have to evaluate from that particular aspect. Then only you can understand the vigor, the spirit. It is that way. So not only that, this particular scenario was coincided with the concurrent, a parallel rise of USA and USSR as superpowers. Then they started deciding, they started influencing other nations. So the world got divided into two, ideologically divided. Because when you talk about the very United States of America, the free market economy, Adam Smith, laissez-faire, capitalism, the role of private players more than the government sectors. The role of government is to facilitate. Even we are leaning towards that particular capitalistic tendency. Now, from socialistic model, well, the bipolar camps, when we were talking about, Russia, that very USA, it was influenced by capitalism, the policy practiced by, but USSR, the communist nation, of course, socialism, especially the nationalistic socialism, the Stalinism, everything owned by the government. But government is run by people. It is that way. So all these things we are talking about. But of course, they did not conduct, because you got modified version of socialism in different countries, you will come to know. Even China says without elections, it's a socialistic nation, but they've got classes. You will come to know all those stuff. They've got their own capitalism leaning. All, whatever may be, that time during Cold War era, the world got divided into, the world got divided into two. On the one side, NATO pact, other side, Warsaw, and the one side, USA, other side, USSR, superpowers. So these nations, because of their the bad history, bad taste in the past, do not want to be part of any one of the entities, and not to be, that part of any one of the camps. Don't want to be a follower. They want to lead their own nation, not under the dictates of any foreign nations. Right? You understand? This was the international context at the beginning level, probably. I think this is the right time. Let's move to the next slide. Right. What is the core essentials, imperatives, of course. The very important thing, urgent thing, what you talk on the part of now. Yes, this is what we spoke. So repeat once again, it is colonial devastation of the all Asian and African countries underwent. Because so all these states ultimately, that thought of having, that a strategy, or to adopt the strategy that may propel, given the economic devastation, they want to have, that economic development, especially after independence. They want to focus. India, that after independence, it could have done a lot of things. We did significantly accomplished. In spite of that, the 4.5 decades, the bureaucracy was accused because of red tapeism, procedural delay that did not facilitate, corporate growth or manufacturing growth. The entrepreneurs were struggling, between pillar to the post to start a company. Getting things done aspect they practice instead of really strengthening R&D. These are all the same story we are talking in India. Got the idea? So we needed to have a strategy. So ultimately, all these Asian, African countries adopted strategy in such a way to propel the economic power, to become the economic power. Not only to meet the needs of the people, to take the nation from basic amenities, bijli, sadak, pani to roti, that. I think I'm telling reverse way. Roti, kapda, makan to bijli, sadak, pani. You move to the next level. So for that you need resources. For that you need peace. There should not be a chaos. When there is chaos, confusion, how come you can walk towards? You can't focus as an individual. Same is the case with the nations. Only when there is a peace, the situation is ripe, or that situation may facilitate economic development. That's why peace is a prerequisite of development. So it is that way we talk about. So all these nations felt the very need of peace at the domestic level, at the international level. Then only there can be economic development. Then only they can meet the the demands, the strategy of economic development. Otherwise, they can work out. So what is that? For that, the challenges from all these bipolar Cold War, all these superpowers, became challenges because they were waging Cold War, not direct war. The world got divided into two, that all these things that disrupted the expected peace ultimately. So the peace closely linked with economic development. So to have this peace, to be a moral voice, as our Prime Minister Modi ji put it, to be a moral voice, to be a peace, that peaceful or global peace, especially to establish peace at the global level. So all these Afro, that Asian countries, got the idea. It is that way. So and let me take you to, to the point, that concept of NAM. As I told you in the beginning, when you talk about NAM, it is not, that neutrality. Yes, the core focus, as I said in the beginning, it is to develop peace in the world, to establish peace, so that it facilitates, that prosperity, economic development. So this non-alignment is totally different from neutrality, because neutrality is a legal concept, but you don't have this non-alignment part of your constitution. For your kind information, it's a political concept. It is the government that decides whether to accept, the practice or reject, or to make it relevant or to enhance. Got the idea? So it is a political notion. It is not legal notion. Got the idea? And moreover, it is a positive concept, as I told you in the beginning. How? It's because of non-alignment doesn't mean that I won't speak with anyone, I won't interact with anyone. No. How come? That is why, say, even Ratan Tata says, when you walk alone, you can walk faster. But when you walk with your network, you walk far and longer. To achieve greatest task, to achieve greatest purpose, you need a team. But sometimes, that we don't want team. If the team not listening to you, if the team paralyzing your efforts, the team is no way in sync with you, it's better to have, not to have the team. But in spite of that, Urgudi Theru Tamil, we say, that we have to go together, we have to gel with others, then only, this is how democracy works. Got the idea? No? It's a global scenario also we are talking about. So NAM is not, saying that I want to talk with anyone, I won't interact with anyone. It is engaging all the nations in the world. It is positive concept. But neutrality, no. I will not. Inaction is the action here. But here, action, what is that action? Engagement with all the states in the world and active cooperation in the affairs of the world. You engage, you participate, you contribute, as even given COVID situation, the interaction, virtual interaction. Prime Minister Modi ji giving information from Indian side. It should be a moral voice. It should show solidarity in crisis. And not only that, the democracy, discipline, decisiveness. See, your contribution. That way. So the NAM promotes friendship, non-aligned movement, friendship with nations, irrespective of ideology. There comes another point. See, I accept as you are. You may be Cuba, a communist nation. You may be China. Let me accept as you are, because you can't choose your neighbor. Neighbors have come. You are blessed. You can't choose your neighbor. So Pakistan is our neighbor. China is our neighbor. You can't choose. So you have to engage them, irrespective of the ideology. That may be theistic nation. Here, China may be the communist nation, but you have to engage. So as to reduce the tension at the border, to narrow down the differences, to resolve the border disputes, so that that our energy is not getting that diverted over all these issues, and that's ultimately ruining economic development. In turn, affects meeting the needs of our people, or a reduction of poverty, or providing employment, or or reducing unemployment, or providing employment, or strengthening manufacturing sector, R&D. Do you get my point of view? It is that way. For that, you should be focused. There should be a peace in the neighborhood also, not only domestic level, at the international level. You understand, NAM is a positive concept, political concept. It is not neutrality. It is totally different. Hope you would have understood, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we spoke the light of Asia, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He said in the 1956 especially, along with that Egypt, Colonel Nasser, and the very Tito of Yugoslavia, and it is the seed is sown. The seed is sown. Otherwise, the embryo of non-alignment. How? He said that neo-imperialism. What is imperialism? It is exploitation once again. Neo-imperialism. All these nations we are talking about. It is a second wave of imperialism. Especially, that the very United States of America, Japan, the European, not United States of America, the very European powers, and Japan came. Ultimately what happened, culminated. It is that way. The neo-imperialism, a threat to the peace of independent nations, of Afro-Asian nations otherwise. He said there itself, the very birth of norm behind this. So it is that way. So especially the Afro-Asian, the conference, happened in 1947, New Delhi. And where, that the very first time we spoke about, the dangers. And not only that, the Bandung Conference, 1955 also we spoke, especially the threats of the rising of military alliances, the USA and USSR. So 2 points ultimately. On the one side, dangers of neo-imperialism. On the other side, the threats of both rising powers of USA and USSR, the military alliances, NATO Pact, Warsaw Pact. So that is the situation, that all these nations felt the need for NAM. The first conference held in Yugoslavia, Belgrade, 1961. This is history. So the credit goes to the light of Asia, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, well. It's that way. And the bedrock of this particular entity, NAM, Non-Aligned Movement, Panchsheel policy. It is that way, and we will speak in the that India neighborhood also, emphasizing that particular policy. Yes. Now let's be more specific. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what is the aim? What are all the aims or goals of this particular non-alignment movement? If you ask me, and it is to be concrete, all these things. It is independent course of action in foreign policy, especially during Cold War. And it is commonly opposed to CARI. CARI, C-A-R-I, the code you don't forget. What is opposing colonialism, apartheid, racialism? What is racialism? It is a prejudice against a particular race. What about apartheid? It is the official policy of any nation to practice racialism. What happened in South Africa? People got separated in racial lines. So thanks to Nelson Mandela, the racial segregation, he won. The African Gandhi. It is that way. Then imperialism, exploitative tendency, economic imperialism, the trying to dominate the scene. It is that way. So all these, isms were opposed, by letter and spirit. Not only that, they took, promise. All these, nations, Afro-Asian nations took promise, that they will not join military blocs or they will not conclude military-specific treaties with these, that superpowers. That is the stand. And not only that, so they won't allow their own territories, lands to be utilized by these superpowers. USA or USSR as military base, but Pakistan, now China is using Pakistan as launching base for, that its own interest, domestic, defense interests. The same way that happened in the past. Today we are talking Pakistan is one of the provinces of China. Earlier we spoke Pakistan, one of the states of United States of America. Yes, under the disposal of someone else. Got the idea? It is that way. It's not my accusation. I'm sorry. This is a history. This is what practical considerations. It is that way. So the territories of Asian and African nations should not be used by superpowers for their military base. We are even Indian Ocean Rim countries. We are talking about even Hampan Tota, the Chinese presence. We are opposing all these things. That so we want to have alternative Trikonamali, our presence. We want to engage Sri Lanka more. Otherwise, the China will fill in. We want to increase our presence in the Indian Ocean Rim countries. Otherwise, Belt Road Initiative. All those, that we talk about, that may go against, security interests. That's why the Asia-Pacific balance, for that we bring in USA there. All these things we are talking about today. So you can find relevance. Strive for world peace. Promote economic well-being. That we spoke in the beginning. Without peace, there is no economic development. One of the important goals. And all these nations took promise not to resort to any forms of arms race. You won't buy weapons from these nations. If India buys weapons from USSR, ultimately, that the Pakistan will be buying, more from the very, that USA. That's what happened. Selling weapons to both nations, they became rich, they became big. The country which, that it may be philosophy, the country which became rich by selling weapons to the poor nations, by indulging in all round of the tensions. Now they are paying price. The kids are, shooting themselves. The gun culture practiced by them. And that's totally different scenario. It's a matter of, that the life cycle. But I'm talking about whatever may be the consequences. Of course, you bring under karma theory also, but nothing to do with, that international relations here. So that's what happening. So these are all the things happen in the past. So instead of, resorting to arms race, you can save the resources, you can channelize the resources so that you can work towards economic development, so that you can meet your domestic needs. You can take your people, the humanity, your own people to the next level. So collectively put all these Afro-Asian nations to the common cause of third world countries, third world in the sense developing countries in the world. The first world countries, industrially rich countries with free market economy. Second world countries, rich countries with the communist ideology. Third world countries are developing countries in the world, well. Alvin Toffler, he has written explicitly. Yes, so the restructure the international order. What is the point? See, it is not reflecting the global reality, as we said in the beginning. So, neo-international economic order, we wanted, because, even that's happening. The multipolarity, representing multipolarity. The world should not be under the dominance of dictates of the few nations or single nation. So we have to restructure. That's why even the Twins of Bretton Woods conference, say IMF and World Bank, we say we want to have our own Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, especially to take care of the needs of Eastern Oriental countries. Even the very, that new development bank part of BRICS. We are not ready to get debt trapped, so that we allow all the MNCs to exploit our not scarce, that very important resources meant for this nation, even human resource. We should not get reduced to mere consumers. We should not become their dustbins. As a nation, we should not become dustbin for their finished product, that products in the name of globalization. We should not get reduced to mere consumers. So this is all the consciousness, awareness on the part of the people. So of course, restructuring the international order, neo-international economic order, the shift in the economic that order we are talking about, as we speak in political order. Yes, and enhancing the bargaining power of the global south. So what happened? There is north-south divide. We are not talking about India, the north-south, the difference in ideologies. It is at the global level. North-south cooperation should be there. The south always accused, because most of the developing, underdeveloped worlds in the south, except few, and they are meant for the accusation from Western world, the developed countries, that these guys are meant for the climatic change, global warming issues, the all-round pollution. They keep on accusing us, manipulating us otherwise. So this particular fora, the moral voice, becomes to enhance the bargaining power of these global south nations over global north. That is the point. That is the very idea. And beyond that, what is the contemporary relevance? Here comes ultimately. Sir, you're talking about the Cold War era, okay, gone the past. Is it relevant today? Yes, NAM, a tool of Cold War, no doubt. It lost its relevance, sir, in the post-Cold War. It's no more, since the collapse of USSR, it is no more USSR, only Russia. The world is dominated by Uncle Sam, United States of America. Even that's going down. Now China's rise. The untapped potential in the other side, Central Asia, our extended neighborhood. Otherwise, when we say the 19th century meant for Europe, 20th century meant for the United States of America, 21st century meant for Asia, and 22nd century meant for Africa, according to one theory. Another theory, it may be for Eurasia, especially Central Asia. And this is global political order shift we are talking about. So given this scenario, we are living in, it's no more Cold War, it is post-Cold War, it is globalization, post-globalization. Now COVID, we have to talk about post-COVID later. Do you think it is relevant, sir? It's no more dominance of the two. One gone, only one. And that's also going, shattering in front of our eyes. When all aspirations on the part of the NAM is achieved, why we should have this entity? Why we should keep this? There comes, even Alvin Toffler said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. It's a lifelong process. What are all the things relevant, purposeful, benefiting your society, nation, domestic interests you have to keep, and rest of the things you have to do away with. In Tamil, there is a saying, Padayana Kadidalum, Pudiyana Pugudalum, Vaduvala Kala Vagainane. So you have to accept new things. Without innovation, without creativity, there is no next level. You can't have 18th century, 19th century mentality to find to provide solution to the 21st century. That demands new tool, new avatar. It is right time we have to make either NAM relevant, otherwise do away with. So this is the way. So NAM nothing to do with the existence or absence of the Cold War. Got the point? NAM is all about independent foreign policy of Afro-Asian nations given their own historical background, legacies. They do not want to be part of that the camps. They want to have their own say in the global affairs. It's not neutrality. It's a positive concept, engaging the global that entities, of course different nations, in a friendship way, establishing peace so that economic development can be reached. Got the idea? I think it is that way. So, and that though we are that it's centered around removing that colonization. So coincidence with Cold era. Got the point? Cold War era we are talking about. I think it is the right time we move to the. What is the essence, if you ask me? So this ultimately now looking at each and everything from the prism of merit especially, or meritocracy. It's not looking from somebody else cooling glass, US cooling glass or USSR cooling glass. Let me have my own say. And beyond that, if at all you find any issue, you don't hesitate to take action against. Got the idea now? Right to take action against an issue they perceive wrong by superpower. They don't hesitate to speak against superpower. The right to take action in foreign policy issue, that is based on independence and national interests. Got the idea? Na? We have our own say. That is why we strongly say, no. We want oil for our nation. Iran, you have to give us. US, nothing to do. Even that happened in Nehruvian era. Even Kamarajar from South suggested, no, these US guys are not listening what to do. You close all their US MNCs here. Next day they will start listening. That is the suggestion from Kamarajar. Kamaraj plan, the very honest leader we had in the past, right? All those we are talking about. So you never hesitate to talk against even superpower, because what is your priority? Your independence, your national interests. It is that way. These are all the essence we are talking about. And what is the thing? It's not only that. Beyond that, essence, the very essence of NAM remains relevant even today. Because the world is no more unipolar. It's otherwise unipolar come multipolar world. On the one side, European Union multipolar. We are also working towards multipolar world. On the other side, going down, US going down, China rising. So when that one of the that Indian diplomats gave the opinion about the NAM this way, and he took Hinduism as asylum for that particular purpose. Hinduism, he says, it's a culture. Well, it's a faith system, belief system. It's a way of life. The religion way with which he took that particular example. He said even NAM, like Hinduism as a way of life, NAM is also a way of conducting a foreign policy. In Hinduism, there is a belief when a person, individual dies, the body dies, the spirit is said to be alive. The soul is alive. That is the spirit. The essence is alive. The same way, NAM may be dead, but its own tenets, the concept remains alive even today. Even today, you talk about, that imperialism, neo-imperialism. Even today, that there are countries at the international institutions trying to exploit, developing nations, underdeveloped nations. As long as you got all these things. Even you talk about at the international fora, that various ways with which, that the countries are discriminated. So the spirit remains same. It is relevant even today. So India trying to move away from the non-alignment, no doubt. Here let's bring, Dr. Jaishankar's statement. And we, that of course we are rejecting, but at the same time we are not aligning with anybody. If at all we align with anybody, that's issue specific, case specific, issue basis. So that is the way. So India's foreign policy's alignment, it is not ideological but issue based. The issue based in the sense we take care of our domestic interests first. So there we get, because of that operational flexibility, we maintain our sovereignty, our own say in maintaining strategic autonomy. Once you become, signatory to the multilateral treaties, you don't lose your sovereignty for your kind information. We take care of that way. We ensure that way. We have our own say. So that is the reason India's reluctance to enter into the alliances. That's not good. It is that way. So if at all you enter into alliances, the military alliances, that becomes your permanent wedlock. You can't go out of that. That's the main reason. Otherwise, if at all we go for the political and military arrangements, that should guide all the nations to achieve the common interest to establish peace, multipolar world, so that every nation will have its own say. The world has one family, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. It is that way. Yes, hitherto we spoke in what way we can make that this non-aligned movement more relevant. What is the way forward, sir? What is the solution, if you ask me, to make it, to make this norm to deliver more goods, even in the current context? How come we can revive? Don't say, it's accomplished, its task, it's over, the purpose over. We can make it alive even now, using this norm as an instrumental. Why? The emerging market economies, especially India, the BRICS nations, they are pressurized by the West, whether it is World Trade Organization, the subsidy mechanism, patents, all those stuff, to liberalize our own intellectual property. And West blaming the global South for polluting the world and climatic change issues. Here, we can use once again the NAM. What is that? It's the biggest platform. After United Nations Organization, you've got 120 plus countries in the world. For your kind information, Satan preaching Diktak Vedas. The largest polluters are West. They already polluted. Now they've got technology, they've got advancement, they've got refinement, cycling, recycling. But they are saying you don't pollute. They bring all non-trade related barriers. The environmental standards, are you child labor free? All those questions when you try to sell your product in the international market. So it is that way. So use the NAM, that it's a new platform to reach consensus on environmental policy so that India acquires leadership. It's not only that, you go for, when you take into account nuclear energy, all the developed nations, especially these P5 nations, permanent 5 nations, United States of America, UK, USSR, now no more, it is Russia now, and France, China, these P5 nations of Security Council of United Nations Organization, they got monopoly over the nuclear weapons and technology. It's almost like nuclear apartheid. They dominate the scene, the nuclear cartel, energy everywhere. Recently, India became member of this energy also, well. And all these institutions are utilized in such a way so as to stop other nations so that they get the opportunity to use the nuclear resource for the peaceful use of nuclear resource to meet the electricity demand that deals with economic development. More you consume electricity, more economic development. Tell me your EB bill, I will tell you your economic status. It's not only for individual, even for nation. When we are running short of electricity, we meet through electricity, renewable energy resources, by our nuclear resources, where we are, that ultimately deprived. So you can use NAM as a platform for bargaining the post-Cold War era. And even India's non-proliferation track records, we never attacked anybody. We did not, misuse our nuclear energy. Well, no first use treaty, second strike capability. We respect that we are working towards disarmament. When that is the scenario, India has got strong records in non-proliferation. We don't increase nuclear material. And we possess, but the point is credible minimum nuclear deterrence. This is what our stand. To give, that confidence in the minds of our own people. To have confidence in the eyes of our own people. We have weapons, but not to attack anyone. But if you are attacked, we will not hesitate to retaliate back. This is what our stand. And apart from that, we are keen to work towards the world which is free from weapons of mass destruction, chemical, biological weapons. So it is that way. So, and here India can act as a bridge between the West and rest of the world. And also, that as I say, restructuring of the United Nations Organization, where India, Germany, Japan, Brazil like countries, they can also be accommodated, the expanded Security Council, to reflect the global reality. Got the idea, na? See, gone are the days. Since 1945, you got, the same P5 nations. Who gave you? But of course, next year we are going to take over that non-permanent membership position. That's totally different scenario. So it should reflect the global reality. For that, the international organization, especially United Nations Organization, should be restructured so as to be more relevant, so as to reflect the global voice. That way we are talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, right, what are all the resources to be consulted for this particular topic. Of course, you read newspaper regularly, especially Hindu, Indian Express, the editorials. Please watch all those Rajya Sabha TV debates, the world scan. You stay with the governments established the stand, and you can also go for commercial guides available in the market and reference texts. And as a matter of hobby, you can go through whenever you find time free. The books of David Malone and even Sashi Tharoor. Of course, will India, will Elephant Dance, or even the Pak Sindhika, even the Sri Raja Mohan. Of course, the Modi's World. And you please, I think with these resources you can meet. I hope I would have met some expectations of you, ladies and gentlemen, took you to the next level. Thanks for spending wonderful time. But the relevance is that UPSC mains, prelims, even in the essay of your mains paper, even in the oral interview, you understand what is the stand. I think you know that. This is right time you refer other resources. So thanks for participating. And before going there, this is Success Sampath interacted with you. You can use my referral code SUCCESS. And to get 10% discount, we strongly recommend the iconic program of UPSC Civil Service Examination, so that we as a team of Unacademy working here to shape you so that you become officer, you lead the nation, you make your relevance, you make your relevance. Before NAM making relevance, you please make your relevance, you understand your purpose and direction. Wishing you all the very best. Let's meet tomorrow, same time for one more IR session. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.